Heading out to Kenora. Got my new travel companion here. I've always wanted a suitcase with wheels on it that I could take through the airport. This one here has got a little handle. And it's just fantastic. It follows me around when I'm walking through the airport. See, isn't that nice and easy? Hey, Stanley. Stanley, hi. How are you? Do you want to come cuddle with me over here? Yeah. Stanley, you want to come cuddle over here? No. You're a prick, aren't you, Stanley? Stanley. Stanley, you won't even look at me, little fucker. We're a little ways into our trip. How are the drivers today, Neil?
Well, so far they're pretty good. They're
so far they're pretty good.
Way when they need to, so I've got no complaints so far.
Yeah, they're not holding you up too much?
Yeah, I won't say no complaints. Let's just say I'm trying to keep it under wraps.
Ah, there you go. 407 is the way to travel. It's expensive, but for us rich folks, it's great. Leave all the struggling musicians down on the 401. Sort of stuck in traffic, while us rich folk singers take the 407.
That's right, because folk singing is so lucrative.
Folk singing is this is the way we roll.
Here goes Ken with Fido.
We are in the west end of Kuwait, did you say? Kuwaitan. So Kenora is made up of 3 towns that are all come together, and their name is a composite of all 3. Is that what it was?
That's correct. Kuwaitan, Norman, and Ratportage.
So Keewatin, I always thought it was Keewatin.
Okay, so Keewatin is the K.
Kuwait.
Keewatin, the Norman is the Nor.
The no.
And the No, and then Ra is from the rat.
Yes.
Why did they call it rat portage?
It's muskrats. Yeah.
Muskrats? Well, they should have said muskrats. That's much more appealing than rat.
The railroad's right here. But the fortune, when they changed everything, there's no trains that go through Kenora that are passenger. They're north of here and Reddit. So people live all year round.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So that island over there, is that fully an island, or is that just separated by a river?
It's an island.
It's an island, okay. It's all lake. Oh, nice. And how many people are living over there?
I'm not quite sure. There's quite a few cottages.
It's a really neat looking one. It's a beautiful lake. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Ed Franco here. I'm out in Kenora with Ed for the KDFA, which is the Kenora District Festival of the Arts, which is a program that was started by Ed. Was it started by you? No.
It started in 1931.
Oh,
shut down during World War.
You must have been very young when you started that.
Very young when I started that. Closed down for World War II. Closed down a bit during COVID, but it's kind of going full bore right now, and it's a great.
We're almost at 100 years.
You know what? It almost is really when it was birthed. Yeah, the birthday will be 6 years from now for the.
That's amazing.
100th.
Wow. The last time I was here here solo. And when I do solo shows, I find that I get immersed into the town a little bit more. I get to. When you're with the band, you kind of stay with each other and you stay on the tour bus. And when you're by yourself, you go out and you meet people. And last time I was here, I had a great time. And this time I've been around. I was saying to Neil at breakfast, I said, I feel so comfortable here. And he was saying that he feels the same thing. Like everywhere we went, be it the museum across the street or a restaurant or a pub, everybody has kind of somehow had a connection to why we're in town. They all know about the event. Everybody knows about what's happening in town.
Good.
We've had, went for breakfast this morning, and we had, people that we had kind of run into, I guess, that I didn't actually meet through the event last night, and they were sort of saying thank you and stuff. And it just seems like, between the bars and the restaurants and the stores that I'm going to, everybody kind of knows what everybody else is doing in town. Everybody is very connected. And I'm not just talking about with the show with me. I mean, Bob, who passed away recently, who had the place downtown, Bob's Burgers. Everybody's been telling me the Bob story and how Bob was the big sort of person who really helped to foster local music. And last night at the Vault, meeting the folks down there, and they were talking about the sort of the scene in town. but everybody's very connected. It seems like a very inclusive town. It seems like people are very, very in touch with what's going on with each other. It's comforting for a town that's, this is a larger town. What did you say we're at?
16,000.
16,000 is a
But in the
pretty
summer,
large town.
it just grows exponentially.
Well, of course. Thing you asked me to come out and adjudicate,
Yes.
which I've done a little bit of it. I'm not a professional sort of musician in that area where I sort of get into festivals of grading people.
Yeah.
But I have done a lot of working with youth, and I was really excited to come up and do this, especially the way that you had kind of laid it out for me. And it was a great group of kids I saw. Actually, not just kids; it was kids and adults, all working together.
Yep.
It seems like the music teachers here in the schools are really tied in with the other musicians in town,
Yes.
be it sort of local retired musicians, young up-and-coming musicians, other arts organizations such as yourself and Leonard, what you're doing with the sort of the classical and the Broadway and the opera and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all kind of really tied in nicely together here. But I was really quite happy to see the support that young people had for music here, and the festival itself has been going for 2 weeks now. You've had not just music, you've had
dance, visual arts, film and video,
Wow.
which was new this year. KDFA Cafe, which is that acoustic cafe, and electric jam. We started it last year. That was really one of my pet projects because since I've been here, I just see such a thriving culture of your world, and they and some really fine talent, but they're not being addressed by the festival. The festival is a supportive educational place
Right.
for artists to go to that one time a year and meet mentors and adjudicators and leaders in the field to gain experience and knowledge and with their wisdom.
I know it changed my life. The Coca Conference came to St.John's when I was 17, and I got to meet some record executive people and some people in the business for the first time ever in my life as a teenager. And I got to say, what do I really need to do here? I'm a musician.
Awesome.
I want to do this for life. What do I have to do? And they they told me their stories, and it had an impact on me. That's part of the reason I like to do these things with young kids, is to try and help to answer their questions, because it's the music and arts world is it can be very confusing.
It's scary.
It's scary. It's such a wonderful thing. You as a young person, you discover art. Whether it's weaving or music or painting or whatever, and you think, this is lovely, I'd love to do it, but how do I do this? And it's a risky road, and
and there's many roads to take.
There are
and
many.
Which is the right road for you.
Yeah.
Your friend goes this road, but you all of a sudden decide to take another road, and where's it going to end up? And no one knows where it ends up.
Nobody.
Look at your journey, right?
Exactly.
From the rock and roll 4-man band to in Whiskey Wednesdays in Campbellford.
It's been an amazing trip, but it has changed all the time, and sometimes it changes naturally. But the good thing about being able to pass on your stories to the young kids is, you can read about a story, you read about somebody's story in a magazine or whatever. Not magazines anymore, but online, and you kind of get their story. But when you talk to them and you say, well, I'm looking to do this, then you get the second story from people. You get I started to do that. That was actually something I wanted to do, but after a year it turned into this, and then you start to see other people's journeys, and you start to see some of the things that might be ahead of you. So I think it's really important as artists and creators to, once we've been through the machine for 1, 2, 3 decades, it doesn't mean that we know a lot. It just means that we have a lot of experience.
That's right.
Experience isn't necessarily, it's not gold knowledge. Some people are very experienced in failing. But you can still
But you learn from failure.
Exactly.
You always do.
But sometimes you don't get that when you're just reading or researching a person's story. It's when you show somebody what you want to do, and then they give you a different impression of what came out of their life. And I think that's a really important thing to have one-on-one with kids.
I agree. And I thought yesterday you were able to share that with the students. And it's one thing to hear it from your teachers or from a local teacher, but you hear it from another, that outside source that, as I find, they usually reinforce the message that's being given already.
Exactly.
But it comes from a source from on high, so to speak. And it just resonates a little stronger and differently, but reinforces, which I think is really important.
It's, I mean, I've got to say, I noticed it working with everybody at the event yesterday, you know, yourself and Len, the sound people, the volunteers, everybody was it was very professional. It was a fantastic day. I mean, everybody was really on their game.
So I'm glad to hear that you felt that way too.
So the entire thing has been a success this year, 2 weeks of non-stop praisings?
I believe it's been successful.
Excellent.
I think there's things we'll reflect back on and look to improve and grow and build. And tonight it's sort of the accumulation of everything, where we have our highlights concert. Where actually you're joining us.
Me and Neil are going to come down and play.
Which is you're our surprise guests.
Excellent.
But we have about 30 little performances happening, plus the visual art on display that was chosen as favorites by the visual arts adjudicators. But it's a grinding 2 weeks, like almost every day there's an event, which is quite remarkable that the community can sustain that. But there's a great love of the arts here.
I mean, I've only been dipping my toe in the pool of arts here for, you know, the minute that I'm here, but I'm heavily impressed. I mean, you know, a small town like this to have this much going on is fantastic.
Yeah,
you guys have done a great job of sort of, you know, organizing and growing, you know, the KDFA.
And that's what we're trying to do, and we're just continuing to find ways. It's a never-ending sort of taking the vision you have of the organization and just sort of tweaking it, building it, adjusting it, just to sort of adapt to the response. We have a very dedicated group of volunteers that believe in the organization. And you know, the thing about it is a community organization, and it needs the community to support it. And the city of Kenora, you know, every year, April is now, for the last 3 years, is declared and proclaimed is the word, KDFA month, and we have a flag raising ceremony before we start the festival.
Oh, wow. So it's become a big part of the city's,
it has been, and
mandate.
we're just trying to give it its due. And you know, the mayor will give us this recognition certificate, and our local MPP will do that too, which is good that they know that we're doing this work to keep the arts alive and well.
You know, we will wrap this up today with a little thing that I learned from Brian Finley. Brian showed me this painting once, and he's probably told you the same thing. Sort of a white painting, and in the center was a dark line. And as you get closer to the painting, you realize that the dark line is very dark in the center, and then as you go up from it, it gets lighter at the bottom. And they've done like a stippling technique where you dot the pencil on it. And there's all these dots that make the line. And in the center, it's pitch black, and then it sort of gets faded, and then it gets faded as it goes up. But then up here, there's one dot. I looked at this thing for ages. I'm like, I don't get it, Brian. He said, that's art and music. He said, we all kind of do it, and we all kind of meet in the center, and like the majority of us are in the same place, and that's what makes the dark line. And then we have people that are failing a little bit, and that's what makes the faded line. And you have people that are doing well, and that's the faded line way up there. But then you have that fucking superstar dot that just shot above everybody to stand on their own. And that freaked me out just looking at it, and I was just like, oh my God, what a great way to think about sort of the way that we live as artists. And it's true. And there's no, I mean, some of the artists that have been that sort of shooting star aren't the most technically inclined. They aren't the most trained. They aren't the hardest working. They just had something that made them stand out.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's a combination of...
And it's like that in sports, right? All these guys, a lot of them are very close.
Yep.
And the guys that don't even make the big show, you see them play, they're pretty talented, but...
Oh yeah, they're highly talented.
So
but
those few that are just in the stratosphere.
Yeah, exactly. I
love that. That's
exactly. And luckily, you know, I've been in it long enough, as have you, to work with a ton of people in the mid-black and in the shading, and I've had the opportunity to share times with some of those people or those single dots as well.
Exactly.
And as artists, we move around that spectrum. You know, our life will take you. You know, I as a 16-year-old in Newfoundland, I wanted to play music. I didn't know what it meant. And now, as a 56-year-old musician who's, you know, been doing it for 30 odd years professionally, touring the world and doing everything that I've done, there was no formula. There was no formula, and I can't think of one thing. I can't think of one thing that I did that I could tell anybody that would be, you do this and this will happen. You know, aside from you know, the X factor is over here. In order to put the X factor into the formula, you need talent,
Yeah.
you need to be somewhat professional, and you need to be in a place where an opportunity can happen. Opportunities happen all the time. If you're not ready for it, it'll pass you by.
Yeah.
But because you're ready for it doesn't mean opportunity is going to happen. You need to create that sometimes yourself. And it's like I say, it's such a weird thing, but it's really great to be able to come out and work with kids. I find I learn from the kids too, you know.
Always.
I mean, you know, when I said to that young bass player, who's your favorite bass player? And he went, what's his name? I can't remember. Joe Dart. And I went, oh, Joe Dart. And I'm thinking, I know the name Joe Dart.
I don't know that name, but...
Well, I'm thinking, I know it. And then I kind of went, oh, cool. And then I realized, okay, I just learned something. And last night at dinner, actually, I sat down and I said, who are the world's the top 10 bass players in the world right now? And you know something? I didn't recognize any of them. Jocko wasn't there, Stanley Clarke wasn't there. You know, all my favorite bass players weren't there. And I kind of went, oh, these are, you know something? My favorite bass players are all from the 70s. Some of them are actually dead. Of course they're not the world's best bass players anymore. And I'm looking going, yeah, I'm out of touch. You know, I learned something from a kid, you know, when it comes to bass, which has been my life. You know, I learned, and it got me out looking at this list going, you know something, sometime this week I'm going to sit down and see who these top 10 bass players are, because why are they the top 10 right now? I don't know.
It's like I'm an operatic tenor, right? And I listen to all the great tenors, and like ask me who are the current top 10. It's I couldn't tell you.
Probably don't know exactly.
I don't know who they would be.
So I find sometimes working with kids, I actually sort of get brought back into the world a little bit, which is great.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed, thanks for bringing me out. It's been really fun. We had a great time with you and Lynn, hanging out with the dogs. We got some amazing food. We really had a good time. So this has been a great time.
It's been wonderful having you guys here and getting to know Neil a bit.
Yeah, he's a super guy. Yeah,
he's awesome.
Strange old man. Ladies and gentlemen, the Whiskey Wednesday Show, Mr. Ed Franco. He is the president of the Kenora District Festival Association, the Kenora Festival District
of the Arts. Kenora District
Art.
Festival of the Arts.
KDFA.
KDFA.
And he's doing amazing things here in Kenora, along with a bunch of other people, and we've had a wonderful time. So thank you very much, Ed.
Fantastic.
Cheers. Arrived in Kenora safely. We are at a restaurant. What's the name of this place now? The Dockside Bistro?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
Dockside Bistro or something.
It's about to have some food. Nice spot. It's beautiful outside.
The Boathouse.
The Boathouse. Beautiful outside. I'm gonna have some grub. Cheers, folks. I mean, I'm not one to, you know, film food and stuff, but where the hell are we? Look at this stuff. I got a bowl of seafood chowder that I really wasn't expecting. Neil ordered a Caesar salad. The stuff seems to be made from scratch. I'm not sure what country we're in here. Looks like we're in food country. I was sorry that you came and left. And I went outside for a smoke and a whiskey and a toke. Felt the rain and I just got wet. Today across the road that no man should, I chose to walk away from a place that used to be so goddamn good. And I went out searching on my own, trying to find a home, trying to get along. More amazing food in Kenora. I forgot to get a picture when it arrived. It looked much better. Yeah, Neil's looks about the same as mine right now, but it was really good food. Yours a good, Neil?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. How was dinner last night?
It was great.
It was pretty fucking awesome. Yeah. Well, good food in Kenora, folks. This is the Spirit Oak Kilo? No. This is we're in the Pug. The Hungry Pug restaurant, which is a cool little spot. Very low key, but very high grade. Ed and the gang got us put up at a lovely B&B right downtown. Nice little spot. Our own 2 little rooms with a kitchenette. Neil on his phone. A bit of concrete out back, but it's pitted so much you can't even skate on it. Nice little spot. Kenora has tons of cool things we're finding out. More than we ever knew. Oh, what a lovely day heading over.
It's Coney Island.
That's Coney Island?
Coney Island is what they call it. It's not what I pictured at all.
Well, it's lovely. There's where we're heading, the big round building. That's a lovely day for a walk.
So you're heading, you're going to make a life in music? Is this something you're hoping to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to music school or are you going to school for something else?
Yeah, I'm going to music school.
You're going to music
And
school?
then get my ed degree.
And then get your education degree?
Yeah.
Very smart. Yeah, musicians, when I see musicians like yourself, young musicians, I see so much opportunity. You can go down the creative way, which is open to everybody. But you can become a working musician. You know, the cruise ships and places like that. I have a lot of musicians that have been doing that for 20, 30 years. You know, they spend a few months, they'll go out for 3 months on a ship, they'll play and then they'll come home for a couple months and they'll go out again. They do that, you know, every year. They've made careers out of doing that, doing ships and resorts and Vegas shows and theater, you know, sitting in the pit. If you know how to read music and you have an understanding of basic technique on any instrument, you can find work. You can find work that other musicians will never be able to find. And that's because you can sit in a pit at a theater production and they can put the music in front of you and you can read it the same as an average person would read a book. And the ability to do that opens so many doors.
Strangest bathroom ever. This is me standing up.
How you doing, Neil? Good. Just dropped my coat on the floor.
Oh, wow, that's really well done. This place is neat, eh? It's great, it really is. And the bartenders are super nice, friendly people. Comped us a beer.
That's always awesome. I know you guys can't hear anything. We're having a great time. Cheers. Kenora's awesome.
It's like 10:30 at night. I don't know. The clock, the town hall clock says it's 20 after 2. It's not 20 after 2 in the morning. Downtown Kenora. This is, you know, I'm going to bring back a song. This is a reminder of a song that I wrote about this exact block. I'm just going to spin in a circle here. Give you guys some perspective on something. It's a song based on a story I wrote that happened right here years ago. I think I'm going to bring back. Cops are out doing their business, which is lovely. The Cornerstone, which is now the Vault, is hopping. We're listening to some Rush earlier, which is really cool, in a crowded bar on a Friday night. Anyways, having a great time in Kenora. Wow, really, really quite special. Bijou Bob's live music. Bob's Burger Bar. Bob just passed away. The entire town is very sad. Very sad about Bob's passing. No, it's Bob's passing. We're all miss Bob. I don't know Bob, but somebody was just giving me the finger, and that's not what Bob's all about, I don't think. Anyways, sad. I've been hearing all about Bob. Big supporter of live music here in Kenora. Bob's music, Bob's Burger Bar. It's not really a hangover as much as a dull headache. It's 9 a.m. and we're gonna go walk some dogs with Ed over in the park and have a coffee, and I'm gonna see if I can nurse this hangover a little bit.
Yeah, what a blast. That was a pretty cool bar.
Yeah, it was cool actually. It was nice people around there. It was a fun time. First time I've been drinking in a while. I sort of feel a little bit of worse for the wear today. That's okay, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we're gonna go walk some dogs now.
We are.
That'll be fun.
Huskies. They may be walking us.
I know.
That way around.
Walk some dogs, get some coffee and some breakfast. It'll be fun. Hello, Bobby. Ooh, how are you? You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous, yes. I know.
She's very friendly with humans.
the lick of approval.
Your eyes are just gorgeous.
Right?
Day 2 at the Pug. Oh my lord. Fresh whipped cream. Challah bread. Fresh made challah bread. Crispy bacon. Oh, look at that bacon meal. That is extra crispy. And what? Oh, look at all that fruit, Neil. That's like 2 servings of fruit. Yes, because I gave you all my fruit. Are you excited, Neil?
I am.
Some neat artwork here, eh? This is really cool, actually. Really, really nicely done. Really nicely done. Neil's napping. Let's not wake him up. Oh, he's pretending to be awake. Oh, no, he is awake. No, he's not. He's asleep. I can't tell. Is he? Oh, yeah, no, he's awake. He's like my lizard. He sleeps with his eyes open.
That's right.
Doesn't get much better.
I don't even follow the yellow trail.
Yeah, beautiful spot. Beautiful spot.
Oh, I couldn't board for an old coat, eh? No, I didn't.
A little out of breath. Great session here down the waterfront. Absolutely beautiful. Wood's a little too soft to skate on, but I was looking to get some deck stuff. But I got some stuff over at the pavilion. Oh, what a lovely town. The cops are here too. It's awesome. Knox United Church. We're having the finale of the Kenora District Festival of the Arts. Lovely evening. Well, there's rehearsal. It's getting a nice little crowd in here. Should be an interesting night.
And 16 years ago, Ken and Brian wrote a musical called The Selfish Giant, and this opens that show. So this is the first time I think it's ever been performed other than in Campbellford. So good for you, Kenora, and good for you, St. Louis. And thank you, Carrie Favreau and Leonard Whiting at the piano.
responses to the phrase man up. 1. I know what you're trying to say. Man up means to do the difficult thing in the face of hardship, to take responsibility. As if women and non-binary people never reasonably.
But you see, it's on me, it's on my family, in your head, in your head.
This is looking great. On the count of 3, we're going to say, hey, Campbellford. Okay, everybody? 1, 2, 3.
City Harbor lies behind the chain link fence. You can see it from a distance. You can even feel the wind. But you can't walk out on that dock and stand beside the sea-torn freighters. Since those stories of the lies that live within, you can't have it the way it was. Had to take it in.
Having a good time, Neil?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I am.
Oh, here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, late night pizza?
Did you notice that we are conveniently situated between two
Pizza places. I think of maybe a slice is in
Both
order.
of which, no, God, it's either Boston Pizza or Domino's, and they're both disgusting.
No.
Yes, they are.
We got Shoppers Drug Mart there. No, we have Shop or Ert. Just so you all know what we're doing here. Fuck. Okay. That was the walk from the bar to the house. We're home.
This has been three absolutely terrific days.
Yeah, it really has.
It
hasn't
really has. I mean,
Yeah.
like Chad over there at the bar, is just a lovely guy. He's
And the vault.
treated us. The vault.
What a great building. Look at it.
He's treated us so well. Beautiful building. It's
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous.
Well, they're not open at Pizza Express. I don't think.
Boston Pizza,
Boston
you mean?
Pizza, not
Yeah,
even
they are
close.
open.
Oh, why are we eating there?
Because you came here.
Oh, this one I could see. I was looking this direction.
There you go.
We're very
That
excited.
explains why you couldn't see the other one.
We're very excited for all kinds of bready goodness.
11.
Candace in the oven. 4 minutes. I love that. It's the coolest thing, man. I don't have to say, is it ready yet? Finally in Kenora, just back after a long day. There's Neil checking his telephone.
Yeah.
Great spot we got here. Look what we got on the way home. Some A&W root beer and some Domino's pizza. Hand-tossed dough. That's their slogan. Oh my God, Neil.
Just look at him.
Hey Stanley, how you doing, buddy? Hi, how's my boy? How's my boy Stanley? Good to see you. How are you? Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Still some trees when the trees came down not too long ago. Oh, what a mess of trees here in Campbellford. All over the place. Look at these. Ice storm there just not too long ago. I got the guy coming to do my yard tomorrow. There's my place here. Big pile of dead branches up on the lawn. Home again, home again. Jiggity jig.